What is going on, guys? Welcome to another Southern Charm pop-up episode. Obviously, I am your host, Larry, and we didn't get to do a Southern Charm pop-up episode last week, so we're back, and we need to talk about last night's episode because it was so good, and I had thoughts, right? So let's just get into it. We start off the episode with Patricia talking about wanting to have like her guys' dinner that she does every year. And these guys' dinners are really kind of like a staple in like Southern Charm. And I mean, we've seen them before in the past, and it is chaos, right? Like these guys get together, cause drama, get drunk, have a good time. I love everything about it. It is on my bucket list to go to Patricia's house in general, but could you imagine being at one of these dinners? So she thought that the aspect of royalty would make the guys feel like British aristocrats, and it might inspire them to behave themselves. Fast forward, they did not. So it was the thought, though. She had the thought. It just did not. It didn't translate to the boys. And it was very cool to see, like, in the beginning of the episode, her talking about, like, having gone to Buckingham Palace for dinner, and Charles and Camilla had, like, sent her a piece of their wedding cake that she keeps in the freezer from like back in 2009. And it really like makes you think like Patricia has lived, honey. Like she literally like has done some cool shit and ran with like some very like high profile people. And she has really lived like this luxurious life. And I love Patricia. Like, she is someone that for me is like, could you, like, goals. Her house is gorgeous. She is very, like, posh and just, like, amazing. I will tell you this. When I went to BravoCon, I saw Patricia. She was in the VIP lounge, and in the VIP lounge, there were like sections that had like sofas and chairs and tables. So you can like kind of sit like in a group and just like talk about whatever, or just relax, whatever. There was just like little areas around the VIP area. And in the middle of the VIP area, Patricia was sitting there by herself, like on one of the chairs. Nobody was in the section. She had a black dress on, black sunglasses, and like security around her. And it was such a fucking vibe. I was like, literally, I want to be you when I grow up. And she just like, the way she is on television really seems to be like the way she is in real life. And she just kind of like exudes that like sophistication. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. So she pulled out the menus from like the dinners that she's been to, and she really wanted to have this guy's dinner kind of like be that type of experience for the boys. And we learned later she unfortunately wasn't able to host the dinner, went over to being Whitney's duty to host, but we'll get into that a little bit later. One of my favorite parts of this episode was the next scene with Paige and Craig's date. And I love Paige in Charleston. I know she jokes about, and I'm assuming this is a joke, right? We all know like her sense of humor by now, but I love that she jokes about like hating Charleston, but like I feel like it's growing on her, because like you saw them in the car approaching the restaurant. She was like, oh, the weather here, like it just looks beautiful all year round. And when I went to Charleston, I went in July and it was hot. Like, it was so hot. So I am going to Charleston in a couple of weeks, and I am excited to see like what their weather is like in the fall. And I'm just like hoping it's not like crappy. I don't think it gets shitty down there, but I'm excited for it. So they have their date, right? And obviously, like when it comes to Paige and Craig, what we're going to get from them is like talking about their relationship. And I'm okay with it, right? I love them. I want to see the progress of like where they are and what they're talking about and like their future plans, right? We're invested. Tell us all the things. It was super cute though when Paige and Craig sat down and Craig was like, the bugs are bothering me. And Paige told him, like, can you blame them? Everyone wants a little piece of that. And his reaction was like, oh, like, thanks. Like, that was so nice. And it was hilarious to see, right? Because obviously, if you listen to Giggly Squad or if you listen to like any of the podcasts, Paige like always gives him shit. And it is in like a loving way, like playing into like what we all think. But like, obviously, we know that like they're together, they're in love. It was just like cute to see her give him a compliment, and his reaction was like, oh, that was so nice. Like, I mean, I just love the two of them. And as their conversation goes on, he talks about like wanting her there more and knowing that like she needs like a social circle down there. And she says like, I like imagine myself like down here and like I would have to get a car so I can like be like, okay, I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriends. And that's what Craig wants. Like, he wants all of that for her. And she's talking about like needing a social circle, and he says like, well, what about Madison? And she says like, Madison is the type of chick that would be like one of my girlfriends like in my social circle. And let me tell you, there's nothing more that I would want than to see those two get together, have dinner, cocktails, gossip, shit talk, do all the things. And I am hoping, fingers crossed, that if Paige moves to Charleston, even say in the next couple of years, that they're all still on our televisions so that we get that moment, right? Because the moment we got with them gossiping earlier this season, when Madison went to Craig's house, I was living for it. I wanted to be a fly on that wall. I want to be a part of Paige's social circle and go gossip with her and Madison. Like, all the things, right? And it was so funny because in that conversation, they talk about like the progress of like the house. And he was like, you were with me like when it was a construction site, and now it is like almost complete and they only need like a few more things to like finalize it. And they're just having like a very like genuine moment. It was so cute to see. It was funny when Paige was like, are you trying to marry me? Like, obviously, yes, he is, girl. And you know it, like she knows it. So I just loved that moment. My favorite part obviously was when she gave him the compliment. It was so funny. And I'm excited to get like more of her on Southern Charm, because we get the summer house Paige, which is like party, dramatic, stuck in a house with all the people doing all the things. And Southern Charm is so different because you're not like secluded in a home with the same 10 people. You're off filming different things in public, like at bars, restaurants, at the home. Like, you can get different aspects of people's lives in the Southern Charm kind of like filming situation than kind of just like stuck in a house in the Hamptons throwing theme parties every week. And I just like the versatility of her being on Southern Charm is like amazing. So we got to go and see Leva and Rod get together, and they got together at Bourbon and Bubbles. And guys, I love Bourbon and Bubbles. That is one of the spots that is going to be on my list of places to hit when I'm in Charleston in a couple of weeks. It's so good. Love the vibe. All of Leva's places are really cool. I love that the two of them got together. It was hilarious that they said that they were like 2 out of 6 Persians in Charleston. It was just So funny. They've known each other for a very long time. Rod said that they've known each other for 14 years. And Leva like really kind of like hyped him up and said that like, you know what, he is a party boy, but he is like ready to settle down. And Rod is talking to her about Olivia and like what is going on there between like her and Austin. And like he really wants more, but she doesn't like really seem like she's ready to settle. Not settle, but like settle down. What I liked in that moment, though, was that Leva said, like, all of my friends come to me for the tea, right? Obviously, they're going to because Leva owns these, like, restaurant bars and nightclubs. So she gets to see, like, how people act, like, when they're out partying. And, like, obviously, like, nightclub owners and, like, bar and restaurant owners, like, know everything that is going on. And, of course, like, if you are interested in maybe someone who is like in the scene, then if you know someone who owns a restaurant or works in a restaurant or bar, you would go to them and like maybe ask like, hey, like, what are your thoughts on this person? Love that is Leva. Like, I feel like she's a very good judge of character and would be honest with you. And she really put like the seal of approval on Rod. I love Rod. I think he is like such a catch, and like any of the girls would be like lucky to like date him. Obviously, we know nothing is really going on with him and Olivia now. But I don't know, like, who would you like to see him with? I have no idea. Like, I have nobody really on the show. Obviously, Leva's married, Madison's married, Vanita has Manny. I don't think he's going to touch like Taylor's situation with a 10-foot pole. And then there's Olivia. So he's going to have to go outside of the friend group. You know what? I don't know if Mia Alario's single from Southern Hospitality, but that they'd be like kind of cute. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, he deserves like the best girl. So it was so nice to see those two like get together and talk just because they've known each other for so long. So it just seemed like natural and comfortable. And I feel like Leva is a person that would give like great advice. She's obviously friends with Olivia, so she knows like how to handle the situation. And it was just nice to see them like drink espresso martinis and like hang out and just have like a good friend moment. From there, we literally got to go to the park with JT and Taylor, and JT showed up with this picnic basket filled with champagne and charcuterie, and like that literally is like the perfect afternoon. Who wouldn't want to do that? It almost came off to me like JT was thinking maybe this is a date, and it wasn't. I don't know, guys. You know, he loves Taylor, and just like the way that they were talking, and he really like has Taylor like on this pedestal from what it looks like, right? I don't know what's going on with them now or if it really is like just for show, but they've only known each other for about a year or two, he said, and he all season has like talked very highly of her and like hyped her up. So it was just interesting that like they were meeting up, but like he had the champagne and the charcuterie and it just came off like a date. And he made a comment that really made you think that like he really, like, I think he loves her, guys. I really do. He said, "You're a queen, but you shouldn't abuse your power." Like, in the situation regarding her, Olivia, Austin, all of this stuff, he says that Taylor was burned and now she has like, I don't even know what you call it, like a fire torch thing, and she's like burning everybody around her. And Taylor did say that like she was the one that initiated everything when it came to Austin. We learned later on in the episode that Austin did say that as well. And she didn't want to hurt Olivia. If anything, she more so wanted to hurt Shep. And then in the midst of all of it, she hurt Olivia. But like, girl, you were going to hurt him. Like, that was the guy she was talking to, almost her ex, like, right? Like, they're, I don't know if they really had an official label of boyfriend or girlfriend, but they were talking for a while, and she maybe in the moment felt like that was her ex. And what did you expect? Like, I really hope that there can be some type of resolution in this situation between Olivia and Taylor, because I did love them together as friends on the show. I think that they're like a great dynamic duo. And if they can get over this and not let the boys on the show affect the future of their friendship, I think that they'd be great on the show together. Like, who wouldn't want to see the two of them like going out and hanging out and like doing all the things? We obviously know Taylor now is in a relationship with Gaston. I believe if you've seen on Instagram, Taylor kind of like posted a very attractive man on her stories, and it's being rumored that that is her new man, but I don't know any more information about him. I'm going to have to figure that out. Maybe I can find out who he is and what the tea is on that. But regardless, it was a little awkward to see JT's, I don't know, guys. I still don't know how to feel about him, because like he has been such a shit stir all season, and you love it, right? It's great reality TV, but you just like I don't know. Like, you guys know I'm an Austin fan, and we still have the headbutt coming up, and we don't know what's going on with that. And I'm just like, I like him on the show, JT, that is. I just feel like he's doing too much. Like, he's like doing the most. But I mean, well, who am I to say? It's making for great reality TV. I still like him. I'm just holding out until the headbutt situation to see what is actually going on. It's cute though that he like is in love and infatuated with Taylor, and this is all like months ago, right? So to know she has a boyfriend now, we know nothing really came of that, but they've traveled together, they're friends, so it is just like, it's a crush. It's cute to see. Guys, this was another one of my favorite moments when Venita and Madison got together for lunch. I love me some Venita and Madison. The gossiping on the phone that they do, telling each other what's going on. I'm so happy that they're back in a better spot from last season. What I loved about this moment was Venita saying, like, I dressed for the mood I want to be in. That is like some advice that like I need to take, because I literally spend my days in athleisure and hoodies, and she's going out to lunch like decked, dolled to the nines. So she said, I dress for the mood I want to be in. And then Madison came in and said, I dress like I'm going to kick somebody, like I'm going to kick somebody's ass. Yeah. You don't want to fuck with Madison, because like she was ready to throw down if she needed to in that outfit. Love the two of them. It was, guys, I just love them. I love all of these people. Like, it's insane. All right, guys, we finally get into the boys' dinner, and we quickly learned that Patricia had like hurt herself when she had gotten out of bed, and she wasn't going to be able to host the dinner. So she's then like handed off the hosting duties to Whitney, which I don't know if that was the best idea, because Whitney really had no fucking clue like what to do. He didn't even know where the trays were for the beef Wellington. But it was hilarious, him having to call her. She's right upstairs, and he has to call her and like ask her about certain things regarding like the centerpieces, or like just like anything. Like, he was not prepared to host. And you would think that Whitney, being like in that type of scene where he's been to dinners at like embassies probably, and like he's just very like societal, if that's the word I want to use, you would think he would know like what to do. And he's a little bit older. Well, not a little bit older. He is older than all of these people. I think he's in his 50s. Like, he would know what to do. Look, I mean, I don't know. Regardless, it was entertaining. So the boys start to show up. I'm loving the fact that they were all wearing smoking jackets. It was perfect for like the theme of the dinner. We obviously have Austin and Craig showing up on the go-kart. It looked like they were having a couple drinks before they had gone to this dinner. It was hilarious to show them like show up a little buzzed up. I loved them driving the golf cart and Craig being like, Austin, get a little closer to the car. I'm going to tap the car. The fact that they can drive golf carts around in Charleston, like literally that's amazing. And it was just hilarious to see them like all get together at the house. They're in their smoking jackets. They have themed cocktails. All of the guys are drinking these King Charles drinks out of like crystal cups. And Craig is drinking a beer out of that like plastic Yeti. It was wild. I loved every single set. I fucking love Craig. I thought it was hilarious. So, I mean, obviously these guys' dinners, the drinks are flowing, the conversation's going. This is going to be a little bit of like a heavier dinner conversation thing because obviously there's the stuff that's going on with Shep and Austin. And Shep tells Austin as they're sitting down before dinner that Taylor's car and her dog are at his house. You obviously, that came out of nowhere, right? And editing is like so, it blows my mind because like they filmed for so long and we only get a small portion of what happened. So the way that it came off was that Shep told Austin that Taylor and her dog, or Taylor's car and her dog were at his house, but like almost like, haha, like she's at my house, her stuff's at my house, not with you. And I don't know if that was like the entire situation. They could have cut some parts out, but it was a dig at Austin, obviously, for everything that's going on. And he looked visibly annoyed by it. Like, is this what we're going to do tonight? And that is indeed what they did. Shep also talks to Craig about wanting to like get to know Paige more and like he needs to take her out and like show her Charleston and he wants to help do that. And Craig was like, we're hermits. Like, we just want to stay in the house whenever she's here, we just want to spend time together in the home. And even Austin was like, that's just who Paige is. Like, that is what she chooses to do. We all know she loves the bed and you can't fault her for that. And Craig was like, is there a way that you can get to know her without like the nightlife? And Shep was like, I'm 43. I'm still like looking to see if I want to go out tonight. I get it, guy. I get it. That's just like who he is. But he said, yeah, like I feel like the best way to do that would be travel. Obviously, we see that the crew is going to go to Jamaica. I don't think Paige goes on that trip. So it'll be interesting to see them on their cast trip. But it was just like, it was funny. It was funny to see Austin annoyed. It was funny to see Shep like egging him on. And they have to sit down for dinner. They have to sit down for dinner now, and it went to shit. That dinner was chaotic. And you know what was missing was JT and Rod. I don't know why they weren't at the guys' dinner. It was just the boys, it was just Rodrigo, Whitney, Shep, Austin, Craig. They get into it at dinner with the way that Shep was acting on the trip. They had said, oh, Whitney, you missed the mountain trip. And Austin was like, oh, I'm sure you've heard one side of the story about what happened. And they get into it because Shep is obviously upset with Austin about what happened with Taylor, but he's not verbalizing it, right? We got the moment in the mountains in the last episode with him like going off on Austin, saying that Austin has always wanted anything that Shep has had or like even wanted to like be him. But that was about it. Austin says like, I wish we were able to have like a man-to-man conversation, but you were just acting like a psychopath. And Shep had said like, I stand by everything that I said that night. It was just wild. Craig starts talking about like, you know my bro code. If Austin were to hook up with Paige, I don't know how I would ever be able to be friends with him. And it's like a very sensitive situation, right? Obviously, Austin did something that was wrong. He knows it. I don't think he feels bad about it because like it happened. But Shep needs to like verbalize his anger with him and not just try and act like everything is hunky-dory and move past it. I mean, I get he's trying to move past it, probably for like the better of the group and his own sanity, but he can be mad. He can be mad about it. At this entire time, I'm like, Oh my God. It was so funny where Rodrigo was like, I'm going to go hang out with the back waiters, like in the back. Like that is where I wanted to be because you know what? No. Because although it was like a little uncomfortable to watch, I also would not want to leave the table. So I made sure I got to see everything that was going on. But it was a little uncomfortable to the point where I like almost would want to go hang out in the kitchen with the staff as well. I was loving everything about it. And I mean, the chef just got up and was like over it. And so the dinner just kind of ended after like they had like the 2 courses. They had the beef Wellington, which looked amazing, the baked Alaska. Rodrigo was like, ciao, I'm out of here. I got to go. And just left. Shep left shortly after him. And then the boys were having cigars on the patio at the end of the episode. And at this point, there's nothing more in life that I want to do than get drunk with Craig Conover because he was just like hilarious and like happy. And it was so funny. They're smoking cigars. He dropped the cigar and he's climbing over like the balcony to like pick it up. And he's like, I'm just going to stay here. It was so good. And then they're really talking about the Austin and Taylor situation even more, where it almost comes off to Craig as if like the stories are getting kind of tangled. He was under the impression that they had made out in New York. Austin was saying it happened after New York. They did a couple flashbacks. And even Taylor said like after New York. So I think it's just kind of like getting lost in translation. But even Craig was like, you had said that there was sexual tension with you guys from the beginning. And then they talked about that situation where Shep first brought Taylor around. And if Taylor hadn't gone home with Shep, maybe it would have happened with Austin. I don't know. It's just so wild to think like the what could have been. So obviously you can't turn back time. You're at where you are right now. I did love the reenactment of like how it went down in Austin's kitchen. They were just jamming and Craig was like, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? They're dancing in his kitchen and like she made the move to kiss him. And it was interesting to learn that like Taylor was the one that initiated that. I don't know. Everything about this episode was amazing. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Southern Charm is like returned to form. The drama is there. The cast is amazing. I do want to see more Rodrigo though, guys. Like, I feel like we haven't seen enough of him, and I think he would be such a great addition to future seasons. So hopefully we get more of him. I'm a little bummed that Rod and JT weren't at that guys' dinner. Like I said, I don't know if something else is going on. There is still so much more to come this season. I know that the cast films their reunion in a couple of weeks. So it's coming. Like we already got the mid-season trailer. I feel like we only have maybe like a month or two left and then it's done. But like I don't ever want it to end. I love Southern Charm so much. Like I said, I will be in Charleston in 2 weeks. So I can't wait to tell you guys more about that. On the Southern Charm pop-up after that. Keep an eye out on my Instagram because I do post the sneak peeks and previews for next week's episode. So you guys don't have to wait. You can get your fix on Southern Charm there. Make sure that you are rating, reviewing, subscribing. I hope that you guys are enjoying these like Southern Charm specific only pop-ups. I love the show so much, so it's nice to just do a quick episode to talk to you guys about it. And if your friends like Southern Charm, send them the link, invite them to the party. And I want to hear all of your thoughts in regards to this episode. So drop your thoughts in the reviews, leave some comments, let's talk about it. And until next Saturday, stay charming.